Hello and welcome to Friday's Granada Reports.
Hello there. On the programme this evening...
Not guilty of 6 counts of rape and 1 of sexual assault, but Manchester City's Benjamin Mendy faces a retrial on 2 charges the jury couldn't agree on.
Accused of Ellie's murder on Christmas Eve and possessing a submachine gun, a man is remanded in custody.
You're not even going to pay for the boiler.
Really? A special report on the plumber who's helped so many struggling with the cost of living.
I've had it with him. I'm changing my Facebook status.
Made in Liverpool, the new ITV sitcom that deals with some serious issues.
A Derby Day home for the couple facing split loyalties this weekend.
And in the weather, it's been a bit wet and wild just recently, and the Met Office have issued a warning running tonight into tomorrow for more heavy rain. All the details coming up.
Yeah, lots on the programme for you this evening, but we start tonight with those verdicts in the case of the Manchester City footballer Benjamin Mendy.
He's been found not guilty of 6 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault.
But Mendy and another man, Louis Saha Machuri, will face a retrial on a number of charges after the jury could not agree verdicts on those.
We go live now to Chester Crown Court and our reporter Emma Sweeney. Emma.
Well, this was day 14 in the jury's deliberations. He had a lot to consider in this case, which started back in August of last year. And it was one that saw the prosecution claim that footballer Benjamin Mendy was a predator who turned the pursuit of women for sex into a game. Well, earlier this week, the jury unanimously found Mendy not guilty of 6 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault against 5 young women at his home in Cheshire. Now, they were given time to see if they could reach majority verdicts on 1 further count of rape and 1 count of attempted rape, alleged to have also taken place at the footballer's home, but they were unable to agree on those outstanding counts, and that then brought these proceedings to a close. Now, the Manchester City footballer was wearing a dark suit today. He had a white tie and he looked relaxed as he sat in the dock, and as the jury foreperson told the judge that they were struggling to come to an agreement on those final 2 counts, and that even if they had extra time, they wouldn't be able to come, the jury felt they wouldn't be able to come to an agreement. Mendy's co-defendant and alleged fixer was a man called Louis Saha Machuri. Now, the jury unanimously decided he was not guilty of 3 counts of rape, but they failed to reach verdicts on 3 further counts of rape and 3 counts of attempted rape. Both men denied all the charges. Now, the prosecution has sought a retrial on those outstanding counts, and the pair are set to face separate court cases, with Mr. Mendy's expected to take place at the end of June.
And Emma, was there any reaction from Mendy to today's verdicts?
Yes, the footballer released a statement earlier on through his solicitor in which he thanked jurors. He said he was delighted to be cleared of most charges and looked forward to clearing his name in the retrial. Now, his club, Manchester City, said that given the jury was undecided on those 2 counts, it was inappropriate for them to comment at this time.
OK, Emma, for now, thank you.
A man's appeared in court charged with the murder of Ellie Edwards as she left a pub on Christmas Eve. Connor Chapman, who's 22, is also accused of attempted murder and possessing a submachine gun.
The 26-year-old beautician was shot in the head on a night out with friends and family at the Lighthouse pub in Wallasey, a short walk from her home. Her dad described her as the brightest star and the glue that held the family together.
Our correspondent Rob Smith was at Wirral Magistrates Court.
Leaving court in the back of a van, remanded into custody, the man accused of murdering a beautician on Christmas Eve. Ellie Edwards was killed as she celebrated with friends at a pub in Wallasey. The 26-year-old was shot in the head. Late last night, police charged Connor Chapman, who's 22, and seen here in an old photograph.
The hearing at this magistrate's lasted just a few minutes, with Mr. Chapman appearing before the court wearing a grey tracksuit and saying very little. He spoke to confirm his name, his age and that he has no fixed address. As well as being charged with Ellie's murder, he's charged with the attempted murder of 2 men and the unlawful and malicious wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm of 3 other people. Plus, he's accused of possessing a firearm and ammunition with intent to endanger life and handling stolen goods in the form of a Mercedes A-Class car.
Police have bailed 3 other people arrested in connection with Ellie's death, a 4th recalled to prison on licence. As for Connor Chapman, he'll appear before a judge in Liverpool on Monday. Rob Smith, ITV News, Wirral Magistrates Court.
In other news today, and a company's been fined more than £4 million after its workers brought down power cables over a stretch of motorway in Cheshire. In one incident, described as terrifying and seen in these CCTV images, the power cable was cut by a digger and struck a moving lorry. A second incident saw a cable land on the carriageway after it was struck by a tractor. Engineering firm Kier Infrastructure pleaded guilty to health and safety offences.
A couple and their newborn baby, who've been missing for over a week from Greater Manchester, have been spotted in East London. Constance Martin, Mark Gordon and their baby disappeared after their car broke down on a motorway near Bolton. Police believe Constance had recently given birth, but neither she nor the baby have been seen by doctors.
Rail passengers are being warned there'll be no trains from Manchester Piccadilly this Sunday. Engineering work is carried out on the station roof. There is a replacement bus service and the advice is to check before travelling.
Now, to the plumber from Burnley, whose promise to his son has made a world of difference to families struggling with soaring costs. James Anderson lost his baby boy at just 16 weeks old. Since then, he pledged to make him proud and has now helped more than 500,000 people from fixing their boilers to buying food. Our reporter Zoe Muldoon caught up with James and the vital work that he's doing.
Jo hasn't had heating or hot water for 8 weeks. Her house is freezing. Providing a safe space for her children and grandchildren is difficult. It's even tougher trying to pay the bills. But today, Jo is in luck.
You're not even going to pay for the boiler.
Really?
The money that you've got in the bank, that you've saved. OK? I want you to treat yourself for a week away.
Plumber James Anderson has stepped in. His organisation DEFA provides free plumbing and heating services for people who can't afford it. In a few days, Jo will have a brand new boiler. And as last month's electricity bill was nearly £400, it's come at the right time.
It's hard work because I've got a little boy, I've got a granddaughter, she's severely blind and it's just hard work. Just keeping it warm really. There's always people worse than me, so I'd rather have them have it than me.
Jo is one of dozens of people that James will help today as the cost of living continues to bite.
Jo is a community angel. She does a lot for a lot of people and now she deserves a break. She can't afford a new boiler. She can't afford to get it fitted, so that's where we step into it because she deserves it.
Do you worry about her going forward with the way bills are going to increase?
I do worry about Jo with the bills, like I do with everybody. We've got to look forward to supporting people like Jo and other members of the public, so we'll keep an eye on her and we'll make sure she's okay.
At the DEFA office and community hub in Burnley, staff are picking up hundreds of emails and phone calls from people asking for support. It was set up in 2017 for elderly and disabled people, but nearly 6 years on, it helps with almost anything, from food shopping to paying for bills.
We've had situations where people are now sending us pictures of the fridges and the cupboards, pictures of the gas and electric meters that are minus all the time. It's 24 hours a day, solid. If we could work 24 hours and not need sleep, we would do it.
James's son William died in 2013 when he was just 16 weeks old. He made a promise to make him proud.
This day when I went into this job in 2017, there was a gentleman lying in a bed with a hoist, elderly, couldn't get up, couldn't do anything. And I knew that day William was there with me saying to me, come on Dad, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to give me that promise that you said you would do. And that's the day DEFA was born.
Since then, DEFA has helped over 500,000 people, including those at the hub in Padiham. It's a safe space for people to come for a chat, hot drinks and, most of all, company. But it too has faced crippling utility bills.
We just had a billing for £700 and odd. It's a lot of money. And until you get involved in something like this, you don't understand fully just how much the crisis at the minute is affecting every family. It's not just people that don't work.
James has come to fix the hub's blocked toilet, but he's also made a donation from DEFA, meaning the bills can be paid and the doors can stay open.
It just means everything to us. We started this for a reason, and that was to help people, to help the community. And for someone to make such a substantial donation, it just means everything.
Back in Burnley, and James is saying to another boiler problem.
It shouldn't go any higher than 80. If it goes higher than 80, then you've got a faulty boiler.
Jamie and Tamara live in social housing and say their boiler has been broken for over a year, but the couple claim their landlord won't do anything about it.
I rang James this morning in bits, saying it needs to come out and help us because I don't know what else to do. I'm on the edge, and it's scary.
The couple have 2 children and say the cost of living is piling on the pressure. Last month's gas bill alone was £350.
We've had to get loans out and stuff, like to get through Christmas, to make sure the kids had a Christmas. Having to go to like food banks, and like there's a place in town called Church on the Street for clothes and stuff. You shouldn't have to do that in a daily life.
£900 to £1,200 going straight onto bills. So, and that's not even the cost of food and clothing for the children and that.
The couple aren't alone. James and his team are seeing an increasing number of young families. For many, reaching out is a last resort.
How worried are you about people when you go into their homes and see what they're facing on a day-to-day basis?
I worry because these people, it may not be the cold that kills them. It's the anxiety and the suicidal thoughts. A lady 84 at one point contacted me and she was going to kill herself at 84 years of age. That's the situation that we need to avoid, but we're going into. And it's going to happen with young people. Young people are going to be sat there thinking, I've got no money, I've got no food, I can't support my family. And that's what's going to happen.
Donations are crucial to help DEFA support the community in the northwest and beyond. And as temperatures drop and energy bills soar, that support is more important than ever. Zoe Muldoon, ITV News, Burnley.
Well, we spoke to Housing Association Calico about Jamie and Tamara's boiler.
In a statement, they said, "We thank James Anderson for bringing these issues to our attention and have attended this address within a day each time we've been contacted. Of course, we would have liked to resolve this problem sooner, but are pleased to say that a new boiler is being installed today."
And you can find out more about Jamie's organisation, DEFA, on our website, itv.com/Granada. Some important work going on there.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was watching that, there aren't many bills you get these days where you see at the bottom free.
Yeah,
it's there. So
hardly
she's
any.
doing fantastic work.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Still to come on tonight's programme.
We check out ITV's new comedy drama with one of its stars.
And in the weather, water everywhere. And the Met Office have issued a warning for heavy rain running from tonight into tomorrow as well. Tonight it's all about the rain. Tomorrow it's all about the wind. It's all going on. Stay with us to hear the details.
And here's Lucrezia with details of the ITV News in about 15 minutes' time.
Coming up, a retrial looms for the Manchester City star accused of rape. Benjamin Mendy was today found not guilty of 6 counts, but he's expected back in the dock in June after jurors failed to reach a verdict on another 2 charges. Also ahead, why Britain's pubs are being praised for a pint-sized bit of good news on the economy and... Tributes to Lisa Marie Presley, the singer-songwriter and only daughter of Elvis, who has died at the age of 54. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Back here and it's time for sport now. And we're looking ahead to tomorrow's Manchester derby. Red on blue action. Here's David.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always an eagerly anticipated matchup, this game, isn't it? And when these two sides last played each other at the Etihad in October, they set a record for the most amount of goals in a Manchester derby, 9 that day, with City winning 6-3. But who will come out on top at Old Trafford tomorrow lunchtime with United on the rise and City stuttering? Well, Chris Hall now looks ahead to the big match.
It's neighbour versus neighbour, blue versus red, Haaland versus Rashford. And whether you're after revenge for that 6-3 derby defeat or angry after a midweek League Cup exit, the timing of this derby is fascinating.
What happened didn't surprise me. Hopefully it's not going to happen again. But it's happened because we do 4 Premier Leagues in 5 years. City fans cannot complain about what this team is able to do, have done, do and will do.
Quite clear, last time we did well, so we have to do tomorrow better. The past you can't change, but you can change the future. We have now faced it against better teams, so we're looking forward to it, and I think that's one of the things is about the mental approach, the mental attitude, so we have to be brave and we have to act with belief and play our game.
It's a match which divides a city and even some families, so Booking.com have built a Derby Day home where a couple with split loyalties can reflect on climbing the table or cushion the blow of defeat. Writer Andy Mitten has popped in for a visit after travelling the world researching football's biggest derbies.
Nowhere does football matter as much as in the north of England. Within 1 hour's drive of Manchester, there are more professional football clubs than anywhere on this planet. The only place which comes close is Buenos Aires. There is a group, there's not many of them, who watch United and City. They're called Purples. You will not get a purple to admit who they are. Maybe this house should be purple rather than red or blue.
Here, both clubs are always on a roll. But who'll be flushed with success tomorrow? The two clubs have been rating each other's form.
4 points behind. Still there, top, fighting. Nobody gave something in the beginning of the season. They will be there, and the position is there because it's the position Man United has to be. For me, they surprised me, no.
Of course, we notice that they had a setback, and of course, I've seen the past weeks many games of them. But we have to look at ourselves. We have to play our best game. It's all about us.
Ten Hag could become United's first manager since Sir Alex Ferguson to win 9 straight matches. But Guardiola, in his 500th game as a manager, has won twice as many derbies at Old Trafford as he has at the Etihad. This city's bragging rights for this season remain up in the air. Chris Hall, ITV News, Manchester.
Well, it's not only at the top of the Premier League where there are important games this weekend. Everton will hope to move out of the relegation zone tomorrow with a win against the bottom club Southampton. Well, whatever the result, fans will be holding a sit-in protest following the match at Goodison. They're unhappy with the club's board of directors as well as the majority shareholder Farhad Moshiri. The Iranian billionaire wrote an open letter to supporters this week saying that he had faith in the work being done at the club, but many disagree, and one of those is season ticket holder Paul Gaffney.
During the course of the game, as usual, the team and the manager get full support from the fan base. But after the game ends, there will be a peaceful demonstration combining about 27 different supporter groups, I'm led to believe, and ordinary Evertonians. Basically, we're all fed up with the way the club's being run.
Well, Liverpool are away at Brighton tomorrow, and as Mo Salah approaches his 300th appearance for the club, Jurgen Klopp says he's been on quite the journey. Well, since joining back in the summer of 2017, Salah has won all the major titles with Liverpool, including the Premier League, Champions League and Club World Cup.
Yeah, I would say his dreams and our dreams came true in that period, but it's not over yet. The most important thing is that he's really available pretty much always. That means, of course, if you have to play that amount of games, that sometimes your performance drops here or there, but it doesn't happen too often. I think it was a perfect match. Nobody knew that then, but we all were hoping for it, and obviously that happened.
getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
Now, the return of the Super League is just over a month away. This week, reigning champion St Helens warmed up for the new season by having a team photo in the cold and the rain. Well, they'll be jetting off to a hotter climate at the end of the month when they travel to Australia for the World Club Challenge against Penrith Panthers. Club legend James Roby is returning for his 20th and final year as a Saints player.
I said last year was going to be my last, and I ended up re-signing and going again. And I think obviously one of the main reasons is, well, we're being so successful at the minute. It's hard to step away. It's hard to break away from a team when you're still winning trophies. So I suppose as a player, I want to win as much as I can. And I'm excited to be a part of it for one more year.
He's now 37, 20 years at the club playing. He is an absolute legend, won it all with them as well. And Saints, of course, they've won the last 4 Super Leagues, so they really are the side to beat this season. But they've got the World Club Challenge ahead of that in Australia, hoping to represent for all English Rugby League.
Crossed. Are you a purple?
I have never heard of a purple. I didn't even know such a thing existed until I just heard it in Chris's report there. It's unbelievable.
I've heard it said that the wheelie bins in Liverpool are purple because they're a mixture of Liverpool red and Everton blue. But I think it might be an urban myth, and I have no doubt that people will tell me.
Well, are they all United and City supporters over there then as well? Is that why they've got the bins?
Seriously,
they wouldn't admit to that.
Any purples, we need to absolutely get them to get in touch with the programme. We want to talk to you. We hear that you're an extremely rare breed. Cheers. Thank you. Well, next this evening, to the Corrie star who's swapping the weather-filled cobbles for the busy streets of Liverpool in a brand new show here on ITV.
Family Pile, starting next Tuesday night, tells the story of 4 sisters packing up the family home after the death of their parents.
You sneaked this on the market without any say-so from the rest of us. No one agreed to a plan. I was born in this house.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Mum went into labour during Inspector Mawson. She was hoping she could ride it out before the case was cracked. Dad's face when he got in, do you remember?
Oh, do you remember James? He just thought he was coming round for some home brew.
Jim delivered me.
What, he was a doctor?
No, he was a sales rep for Cadbury's Roses. That's how I got my middle name, Jim.
It's very, very funny.
Yeah.
We've seen other clips, haven't we? Family Pile is filmed in Liverpool, and Alexandra Mardell, who plays Gaynor in the programme, came in to talk to us a short while ago.
It is about 4 sisters who are played by Amanda Abington, Claire Calbraith, Claire Keelan and myself. And their parents have both passed away over the last year, which doesn't sound very funny, but honestly it is. And it's just about how the family kind of deal with that through their grief, with their own private problems and being forced to sell their family home that none of them really want to do.
It is comedy, but you touch on family loss and grief, 2 sensitive subjects. Was it quite challenging to make that comedy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the situation that they're in is a really serious one, but these kind of weird and wonderful characters put in this situation, it's just a bit of a mess, to be honest. And the characters are so relatable. You know somebody like that in your family, and that's what makes it funny. You're like, oh, that's what my auntie's like, or that's what my sister would be like, and they just have a big laugh together.
And you play a Scouser?
I do, yeah.
How did you find that? How difficult was it to master that very difficult accent?
I mean, it is a very difficult accent. Fingers crossed we've all done it justice. But, you know, I love doing accents, and I've never really done my own accent for a job before. So, yeah, I love doing different accents.
And it's filmed in Liverpool, isn't it?
Is,
so
yeah.
you obviously had Scousers working on it, people from Liverpool working on it. So they were there to keep you in check.
Yeah, and give us a few extra slang words to work on, and make sure we were spot on with it. So that was really helpful. Why did we cancel the Wi-Fi?
Mum and Dad's ghosts don't email.
For all we know.
We know that much.
You can get next doors if you squidge up against the alcove.
Not a word.
Alcove?
Squidge.
Well, she's squidging.
You played Emma Brooke in Corrie. Many of our viewers will remember you from that. How different is the character in this series?
Very different. They are at complete other ends of the spectrum. Emma was very bubbly and cute and nice, and Gaynor is not so much cute and bubbly. I think she's very opinionated, and if she doesn't say it, you can see it on her face straight away.
Yeah. And like so many Corrie stars that we've spoken to over the years, I mean, Corrie plays such a huge part in their lives. What has life been like since you left the soap?
Oh, I can't believe it's not even been a year yet, but I've just been so busy trying other things and doing lots of voice work, and now this, and it's been lovely to get out and do some other little bits.
You were saying earlier about, it's bittersweet, it's a comedy about a very stressful part of life, and that is what happens, isn't it? Black comedy comes through in those moments. It's the time sometimes when we're at our funniest, really, dealing with the stress of it.
It is, and I think a lot of us cast members, we could completely relate with the story, and the chemistry that we had together over the summer was just so lovely. We did really feel like a family, and the kind of jokes that we had offset, we could bring them into the show, and it just made it so lovely.
So how do you want viewers to feel about it after they've watched it?
Oh, I think they'll be laughing their heads off, but then there's also little moments which are really kind of meaningful and quite upsetting, so I think it's going to be up and down, but overall they're going to love it. I really hope everyone loves it.
And just finally, before you go, just remind our viewers when and where they can watch it.
Yes, so it is out on Tuesday the 17th on ITV1, and you can stream and binge it all, which I will definitely do on ITVX.
The best place to binge and stream things.
Yeah,
and we're keeping our fingers crossed for a second series.
Yes, we are.
Alexandra Mardell, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
You just know it's going to be fab, don't you?
She was delightful.
She really was.
Welcome any time.
Yeah, you just know they're going to have a second season. Here's Emma with the weather.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there. A lot of wet and windy weather around the region just recently, and wherever you are in the British Isles at the moment. At this point in January, it's a lot wetter than we'd normally expect it to be. There's a lot of evidence of wet weather around the region and rivers overflowing, and I am going to bring up the floodline number in just a second. You might want to get a piece of paper and a pen to hand in case you want to jot it down, because there were, as I came into studio, 82 flood warnings in force and 160 alerts across the whole of England. So I'll bring that up in a second. If you are concerned about river levels, do check it frequently, because it does change and it is updated very often. We're expecting more rain tonight. There's a warning in force for that. I'll tell you about that in a second. Then turning colder over the weekend with some wintry showers possible, and frost and ice returns into the start of next week. Again, maybe with some snow showers around. But returning to the immediate future, rain is the main thing overnight tonight. We have a warning in force for heavy rain. Kicks in at 9 o'clock tonight, runs until noon tomorrow. Widely 20 to 30 millimetres of rainfall falling, with 40 to 50 millimetres possible in more prone spots, particularly over the tops of the hills. So this evening, a quieter period and clearer before this rain sweeps through, and we are expecting that to just continue through the early hours of the morning. The coldest temperatures occurring this evening and then rising as milder air comes in with all of that rain. Sun's up tomorrow at 8:22, and it's going to be a wet start to the day, as you can see here. That clears away to brighter weather and showers, but as it does so, it's going to feel a bit cooler. Some of those showers could be wintry at height as well. Temperatures around 7 to 10 Celsius, and then we are expecting the wintry showers to start to kick in later in the weekend. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Just to cheer you up, before we go, some nice pictures from Knowsley Safari Park. Its animals are being given old Christmas trees.
Yeah, they're said to love them both as a winter feed and something to investigate. Staff say they've been recycling Christmas trees for several years.
And it's an excellent opportunity to reuse something that otherwise would go to waste.
The bison will dominance display on there, they'll dress their horns with it, so it's something nice that they can play with and interact with. We also give it to the tigers as something that smells different, and the textures, so lots of different things we can do with them.
Yeah, everyone's a winner.
They're very, very brave giving tigers Christmas trees.
Our late news is at 11:20 tonight.
And you can keep up to date by going to itv.com/Granada.
Until next week, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.